Let me not beat round the bush when it comes to peripherals for airliners and Boeing and Airbus in particular, while WinWing continue to dominate the market. And they've added 2 new peripherals to their range. WinWing are known for their authenticity, quality and price point. And the 2 new additions are no exception to that rule, and a further opportunity to complete your Airbus home cockpit. Welcome to your Flight Sim channel. My name's Mark. Thanks very much for watching, and let's get started. In this video we'll have a look at what you get with these 2 units. But first and foremost, you're interested in how it operates, its authenticity and versatility, so that's what we'll focus on first. And then, if we've still got your interest, well, we can look at the detail. We'll be looking at the ECAM, plus a chronometer and landing panel. With the latter comes a number of mounting options, which we'll cover further on in the video, but this is the option that I've plumbed for today. Simple, straightforward and sturdy for your desktop. First and foremost, let's take a look at their software, Simhanger Pro. And like the other peripherals, well, it auto-configures and it's ready to go out the box. Let's have a look at the ECAM first. All the lighting, of course, is configurable. This is a great place to test that everything's working. You can set it manually or you can sync to the sim, and the light settings within the aircraft that you're flying. It's a faithful recreation of the A320 family, but looking at the ECAM you'll see there's a number of buttons not lit, allowing configuration for things such as A340, maybe the A380 and so on. The same applies to the 32 AGP unit, which has the chronometer and landing panel. Both units are made out of a hardened rigid plastic. Buttons, where applicable, have a tactile feedback. And on the unit, the RST or reset and the CHR chronometer rotaries offer something not found in the real aircraft, that is 360 rotation, facilitating further adaptability and configuration if you want it. And it's nice to see a unit that's fully configured and ready to go out the box, rather than a buy now and we'll add features at some point in the future. We'll take a gander at the prices and then test it out in the Phoenix A320 in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. As always, check the pricing on the WinWing website, as this video was produced prior to release of the product. The pricing, in my opinion, is very competitive. No, it's actually excellent. Includes shipping, etc. The products as displayed can be purchased individually, with the 32 AGP having a number of mounting options. As displayed above, additional mounting options are available directly from WinWing at an additional cost. Welcome to the Phoenix A320, and we'll start off by having a look at the ECAM and its functionality. This video is a review and not a tutorial, so I'll take it that you understand how most of these things operate. Selected the engine button, information is displayed and the button is lit, and we can cycle through the various options of bleed, pressure, electrics, hydraulics and so on. What I do enjoy is there's absolutely no latency that's observable. Press the button and the sim reacts immediately. Now pressing the status button, current configuration issues are displayed, and of course you have the option to clear. Fairly simple and straightforward, and no need to mess about with the controls menu. The emergency cancel button is done very nicely indeed. Has a spring-loaded plastic cover over it to prevent accidental activation. Let's now have a look at the 32 AGP unit. The gear lever itself is made out of metal, the rest is hardened plastic. Let's activate terrain on our display, and there we can see it. LCD illumination matches exactly what we're seeing in sim. These buttons are single action, spring loaded, but with some tactic feedback, so you know that you've pressed the button. Very reassuring, particularly when you're busy in the cockpit. The anti-skid nose wheel steering switch is particularly nice. It's not a simple toggle. To switch between on and off, you need to raise up the lever, move it to the off position, raise the lever again to move it on. Once again, a safety feature to prevent you from actually bumping it on or off. We can cancel the warning display simply by using the clear command on our ECAM. The auto brake functions exactly as you would expect it to. Once again, single press spring-loaded button with the appropriate illuminated display. At the top of the unit we've got the landing gear display. These are not buttons, simply illumination. But next to that is the brake fan button. This is a latching switch. Press it and it stays down and on. Press again to turn off. Let's now have a look at the chronometer. Currently off, press the button to start and it starts counting up in seconds. Press the reset button again to zero the counter. It'll return to zero and the count will continue. Press the CHR chronometer button once again to freeze it. Perfect for timing a leg or perhaps a hold. The middle display is the continuous clock and it is UTC time. The world of aviation is governed by UTC time as a standard, and this clock is set via satellite and GPS. Press the set button and it will display the date. Release it and it again will show you UTC time. Date function is pretty handy just as a reminder if entering into your logbook. Something not used very often is if we change from GPS to INT or internal time. This really is just a backup in case of GPS failure. And you can also move it to the reset position. Use the set button and rotate it to set a particular time if for some reason you needed to do that. Our third display is marked ET or elapsed time. This is measured in minutes, often set for takeoff to measure overall flight time. You can stop or pause it by moving it to the stop position at any time or reset it, which will effectively reset it to zero and turn the display off. Switch it to run again to commence. Countdown in minutes again. I've now slowed the aircraft right down so that we can test our gear, as we are in mid-flight. The gear lever once again has to be lifted up in order to be moved from one position to the next. Again, a nice safety feature found in the real aircraft. Now at a safe speed where we can lower our gear without damaging it. So let's move it to gear down, and as we would expect, our gear drops. The three displays at the top of the unit indicate that the gear is unlocked, which in effect means unsafe, and changes to the 3 green once the gear is fully down and locked. The display in Sim is matching exactly what we find on our unit. Let's now raise the gear again. Once again we'll see the warning or unlock message until the gear is safely stowed, and then the LED displays will be extinguished. Faultless operation. Let's have a closer look at the ECAM initially. Now whilst this unit is functionally just a button box, when you factor in its ease of use with SimApp Pro, LED lighting, the price in my opinion represents exceptional value for money. With the unit you get all the tools etc. that you would need. Most of it's usable only if you're mounting it in conjunction with other WinWing products. Overall quality is what we've come to expect from WinWing. All buttons are single press, spring-loaded, nicely labelled. Connection is USB-C to the unit to USB-A to the PC or hub. Spring-loaded plastic cover for the emergency cancel button. On the unit you'll notice there are a number of buttons, 4 in fact, that have no LED and no labelling. This is so the unit can be used with things such as the A340, A380 and so on. The unit can be used standalone on a desk, utilizing the sticky pads that come with the unit. Turning now to the 32 AGP unit, a number of different mounting configurations are possible. I'll have a look at those in a moment. There's a bucket load of tools, nuts, bolts, etc. that come with the unit to vary the type of mounting that's available. Packaging is bespoke for each unit as you'd expect. The landing gear unit itself, this is a full metal assembly with plastic shroud, with a data connector cable to the main unit. As mentioned previously, in order to operate you need to lift the lever up to move it from gear up to gear down and so on. The whole unit feels robust and solid. One nice and unique feature, using one of the supplied Allen keys, you can vary the tension or dampening effect for the gear lever itself to suit your preference. On this unit you'll find 4 press buttons, 1 latching switch, a toggle switch, 3 of the knobs offer 360 rotation, and 2 3-position switches, one of which is spring-loaded for return. Made out of a moulded hardened plastic and beautifully finished. The anti-skid switch again is a locking mechanism. To move it from one position to the next you need to lift it up over the locking mechanism, and this is an all-metal switch. Using the rails provided, you do have the option to mount the gear lever below the actual unit itself. This would not be suitable for desktop, for example, but ideal if you're mounting it onto the mounting kit, which is a separate and additional purchase from WinWing. With the unit, however, you do have limited mounting options, both in terms of the brackets and 2 rails that are provided, facilitating the assembly as I've shown earlier in the video. WinWing are not done yet in terms of building their complete Airbus cockpit, but with the addition of these 2 peripherals we're well on our way. And by doing so, allowing us to achieve a cockpit with authenticity and realism that, well, was just unthinkable only a short while ago. If you're into Airbus, then in my personal opinion, well, these 2 additions are a no-brainer. Great quality at great prices with great functionality. What more can I say? And such a pleasure to review something that works straight out the box. No hassles. Bottom line, highly recommended. Thank you as always for joining me. I hope you found it useful and informative. Stay well, look after yourselves. I'll see you again soon. And ciao for now.